What's going on, y'all? I'm back with another quick clip of Welcome to the Franchise here. Just here to tap in about what's been going on recently with the NBA. The season started back up here after the All-Star break, so now it's time to get back to some real shit. Motherfuckers are gonna try and start really balling so they can, shape up with the right playoff seeds and matchups that they want, so it can help them advance deeper into the postseason and try and get into a championship here. So I'm ready to get straight into it, but also talk about some of the stuff that's probably slowed up some other teams, and also talk a little bit about how some of the things going on right now, or how everything might shape out at the end of the season when it's all said and done, could have us in store for a crazy ass NBA off season and shit that probably should happen or could happen. So let me get straight into it here. I'm gonna start off first with the news last week with Wemby being out for the season, having some type of blood clot situation in his shoulder. Shout out to the doctors for catching it right away, and being able to have the foresight to be like, listen, let's wrap this up right now, so that you're healthy for next season and beyond in your career, but could still just function healthily in life. So that's some real shit right there, because it sounded like it was a little bit crazy. Tough to hear. You want to see somebody like Wemby play. It's exciting to watch him, and see him on his growth as, being a professional and being one of the next new stars out here. With him now being out, also want to tap into a little bit about, if the Spurs, if they're still a factor and could be, a playoff team or a play-in team. I think that they can. And then also about, does this slow down his momentum now, and does it still put him, in the runners to be the face of the league? So I want to tap into that also. With him right now being out, I think the Spurs, they still got a chance. They still got a chance to be competitive and be a playing team. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Of course, having Wemby makes everything better, but they got some ballers on that squad. They got a couple veterans there. They got three or more veterans there. And they got some young guys and a young vet there, and someone like Keldon Johnson who's been there for a little bit, that can still make things interesting. They can still compete. As far as him, his momentum now with being the face of the league and shit, I don't really think that it slows down too much. Yeah, it's a little bit of a step back. But then you have these conversations out here too, with some people saying, the face of the league can't be a foreigner, it can't be someone that's not U.S. born or play U.S. basketball and all that shit. And I'm just like, yo, that talk to me sounds a little bit crazy and a little bit, short-minded, and just, I'm not really feeling that shit for real. But that's just my opinion there. I think that the face of the league can be somebody that's a foreigner, especially if they showing that they bowling like that and they want it more. You know what I mean? I think that we had a moment there where you could kind of say low-key Jokic was the face of the NBA low-key for a little moment there with the multiple MVPs. Then he got the championship. So it was more like he was a foreign face as an ambassador for the league and everything. So I don't think you could say that you can't have a foreigner as the face of the league for the NBA. If they're that nice and they have the hunger, the want to, the ambition, and they also have a way that they carry themselves off the court that is a little bit more digestible to certain fans or the casual fan, or make certain fans or, certain media members and shit like that feel comfortable and everything like that while they put up the numbers and show a good competitive brand on the court for themselves, and they want it, then yeah, they could be the face of the league. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where the fuck that shit is coming from. I think it's just that a lot of motherfuckers just really wanted to be somebody that's from the U.S. because they've been catching a lot of flack these last few years about how the foreigner niggas been coming in here to bust their ass, and they've been showing out and doing crazy numbers, and they care more and have a lot more pride than our U.S. players over here. But whatever, I think that them foreign dudes, they still should have just as much right, if they're showing it on the court and off the court, that they could be the face of the league. And then following that, I think that there was some good points made from what I've seen from Shaq and Chuck on, the face of the league can't just be given. It can't just be like, oh, let's give it to someone that we feel like is nice, that we want. And a little bit about what I was saying, a couple minutes ago. You got to have players out there that want it. They want to go for it. They want to take it. They're ambitious for it. You know, they got the energy, the vibe for it, and I'm talking about more with their competitive brand on the court. Off the court, a whole other story. Everybody likes to, you know, do what they want to do. They're into it. They're into off the court. It's a little bit different for everyone, especially these days, where how the world's been changing. You could do whatever you want off the court, but you know, it's going to be heavily publicized and maybe a brand. You know, when you're dealing with big brands like the NBAs and the NFLs and MLBs and all this other shit out there in the world, you know, they want shit to kind of look squeaky clean still and everything like that, as it's been for years and years and years. But, yeah, I agree that, you know, players out there, you got to want to take it. You know what I mean? You can't just be given just because, you know, we like you or we know you the best or the most talented or you put up the most numbers night in and night out. So, you know, guys out there that got to want to take it, like Ant-Man, SGA, Ja, Zion, you could kind of still put in there. I'm not saying he's, you know, in the race and in the runnings right now. Clearly not. He barely hasn't even fucking played. You can still put Tatum in there, who I think that if y'all motherfuckers want to be on some, well, it can't be someone that's a foreigner. I mean, Tatum's still in there. He just came off a championship. All he got to do is keep killing like he been doing this whole season, still doing crazy numbers. He got a pretty good image off the court. His competitive brand is still good, still good to see. It may not be as fun to see for most fans because most people don't like the Boston Celtics and everything. And sometimes his play may not be fun to watch, but I think he's still in the running to be the face of the league. Even Luka as well also could be a foreigner face of the league, coming off some injuries. He was just in the finals against that same Jason Tatum. All they both got to do is go to the finals this year, which is most likely going to happen, play each other and see how that turns out on who's going to really take it. All Tatum really needs to do to take it is come back again even harder and win another championship. And if Luka really wants it, he got to come back harder, especially after being heartbroken with this trade and shit, and win a championship. But the other dudes around them, like Ant-Man, SGA, Ja, Zion, and I said this before, they better start getting their shit together because they could fuck around and turn into like, you know, the Tracy McGrady's of the world, the Vince Carter's of the league, the Allen Iverson of the league. Like those type of players was like, yo, they were really, really nice and they could compete with those dudes, and they could beat them dudes like Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic and whoever else, but they just didn't really want it like that because they wanted to do what they wanted to do off the court, and they were just like, I just want to come out here and bust niggas' ass. But if they giving all of the positioning to niggas like Luka and niggas like Tatum to always get to the championship, then fuck it, you know. So I could see that kind of happening for them if they don't come out and really want to take it with a competitive brand on the court, which they all are more than capable of doing. I've seen that, but also how they want to go about things forward in their career as professionals. You know what I mean? Maybe off the court. I'm not one of them people that's like, yo, they need to do this off the court. This person needs to cut their hair and they need to dress up. I'm not one of those people. Do what you do. Be who you are and shit. You know what I mean? Off the court. But, you know, make sure on the court you're showing that you want it. Off the court, if you got to make some little tweaks or tighten up or clean up some things here and there a little bit while within, you know, being yourself, then cool. But the motherfuckers need to get their shit together because Wemby, when he gets back healthy, he's going to be coming with a dynasty. Tatum is already, he has a chance to at least rattle off 2 or 3 in a 5-year span. Luka now for sure definitely has at least a chance to rattle off 1 or 2 if LeBron plays next season also in between this year and next year. So, you know, it's going to be crazy to see who really wants it and who's really going to take it. We all really, you know, a lot of people out there saying, I'm one of them people also, but we all know who we really want to see as the face, and it's a guy like Ant-Man, of course, because of his play style, reminds us of, you know, one of the GOATs out there, and you know, we know who, but he ain't really like that for real. Not for right now. For right now, he's not. He ain't really like that. Yes, he has the play style. He has the potential to get all the way there like that. Like this GOAT that we all know is on our mind when we see him play. It's shades of him, this and that. But I have seen a few games where it's like, damn, bro, you can't finish at the rim. Damn, why you letting something pluck you like that when you get to the paint? Or, you know, you're getting tired and instead of going to the lane, splitting the double team, just chucking up a 3. But that don't mean I don't doubt him at all. That he could get there. I'm just saying for right now, you nice as fuck. You a dog. You up there as one of the best. But you ain't like that yet. But other than that, we have a good idea why, like he said, he wouldn't want to be the face of the league. Because of all, his off-court resume is crazy. It's horrific. There's something coming out with, certain people off the court, whatever, that looks crazy out on the internet every other week. So, we know that he probably doesn't want to be the face of the league because he don't want everybody in his business like that going through that type of shit. Not even just that, even if he knows it's going to be out there, his business is going to be out there, it's like, listen, I know that I'm as nice as I am and I'm just going to get better. And once I get great and they look at all of this stuff here, you don't want to, he probably thinking like, I don't really want to set that example as being a role model. And then all these kids is this and that. And then that could fuck around and hurt other things going on, endorsement deals, sneaker sales, jersey sales, all other type of shit. Because once those kids start being, seeing those things, and everybody has access to social media these days where it influences them at any age now, it's crazy. You think them parents are gonna be like, they're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna get his jersey, get his sneakers. They're gonna be like, nah, we ain't getting that shit for you. All that shit that nigga do. I'm not trying to raise my son like that, or my daughters like that, to be looking up to that shit. So I think he's taking that into effect in the back of his mind right now in his life. On top of the fact that he's still in his early 20s. He knows that. He's like, he in his early 20s. He want to do what kids in their early 20s do, especially with that much money, and you the top of your game, you the best at what you do. Of course you're going to be wilding out. I'm not saying any of this shit is right morally at all. I'm not saying any of that shit. I don't agree with any of that shit. But, everybody been young in their 20s before. But this motherfucker is young in his 20s. He the best at what he's doing. And he getting crazy money like that. He doing, this is what happens when you're in your 20s. You wild out. And I think he knows, like, I still want to do some fuck shit off the court. And I still also want to kill niggas on the court and just worry about hooping and getting better and do whatever the fuck I want to do on the court. Because right now it's set up for all the other niggas to win championships. It's not my turn yet. I think that's kind of how he's thinking there. So I'll leave that at that right now. But it would be dope to see somebody like Ant-Man as the face of the league. Even SGA. I think SGA, if it's not going to be Ant-Man or Wemby, I think it's definitely between Tatum and SGA, and both of those dudes would be awesome to see as the face of the league also because they be balling. They be balling crazy and everything. And SGA, I mean, I know Canada and shit, but that ain't foreign to us. Let's be real, it's still North America. Still the same, motherfuckers do travel to Canada sometimes and shit like that. We can't be sitting here like Americans, like, oh, I don't know nothing. It's right there. You could drive to it, quick flight to it. All that other bullshit, the political shit, the tariffs and all that shit, y'all could say that for a whole other conversation. This ain't for that. But now I'm going to go into next a little bit about how the playoffs might shape up, right? And who's going to be playing who. I think on both coasts here, I'll start with the West. There's some low seed teams who could knock off some of those top teams there. Maybe, this is a big maybe here, maybe the Warriors. They look like they're gelling and putting shit together in hand motion. They could fuck around if one of them young boy teams up top isn't, isn't really on point. They could get knocked off by the Warriors or the T-Wolves, you know what I mean? The T-Wolves, once they get healthy, they probably can make it to the second round. I don't know about further than that. They might leave in the first round exit, but I'm just saying, depending on who they play in the first round of those top seeds, they had the they had the fortitude to knock someone off. And then once they get everyone back healthy, it'll be interesting. The Mavs also, once they get everyone healthy, that's a big if though. It's a big if on that. But other than that, if it's not gonna be the Mavs, if you want to swipe them out, what they dealing with and shit, the Kings, man, Sacramento, sneaky. They got some good veterans on that team. They got some young boys on that team contributing. And, they got niggas that want to make plays and put up points. And they want to compete and start killing shit. So if they come in as an 8 seed or as a play-in and make it as the 8 seed, they might could fuck around and make it tough in the first round for one of these top seeds up there. As far as in the East, Of course, you got the Heat. They always make it tough for anyone they play in the first round, no matter what seed the motherfuckers are. The motherfuckers could be the fucking 20th seed if they allowed it, and they would give the number one seed a hard time year in and year out. I mean, the Pistons now, shit, this dude Cunningham going off, and the rest of he's making his teammates better, getting everyone else involved also. So the Pistons might fuck around. I mean, and then the Bucks might drop down as a low seed as well. I mean, Portis is out now. They just got Giannis back off injury. I feel like I heard that they got one other player that might be out for a little minute. But the Portis thing is a big hit with his suspension, so they might drop down to maybe a 5th or a 6th seed. But they have the experience, and they still have players on there that been to a championship, or been to championship shit. You got Kuzma now over there too. Yeah. Brook Lopez is still there. Dame is there, once he gets cooking in rhythm and everything like that. I mean, he's still been doing his thing. They could knock off a fucking 3 seed if they're the 6 seed in the fucking Knicks. So you never know. And listen, to me, nobody's beating Boston. Those motherfuckers is the real deal. They not fucking around. That is not fucking around crew right there. Other than that, and it's a big maybe, the only team that could really knock them off is Cleveland, But Cleveland, I think, will take them to 7 games. I don't know if they pull it out, but they could take them to 7 games. They're the only team. But like I was saying, with the Bucks, if they drop to like the 6 or something and they got to play the Knicks could get bumped. The Knicks could get bumped in the first round quick, or the second round. But if they had to play someone like the Bucks in the first round, they could get bumped quick. You know what I mean? Depending on where it all shapes up at the end of the season between the 3, 4, 5, and the 6 seed. Because it's looking ugly for them against elite teams in the East. It's looking ugly for them. They got destroyed again for the better part of the game against the Boston Celtics. This Sunday's game that happened. It's looking ugly. And the Big Purr, he looked like he's getting punked every time by Boston. Every time. So that ain't a good look. That ain't a good look. So they could get bumped and knocked off quick, and maybe there's some other teams that can make it interesting for some of those teams, at the 3 seed and below. But other than that, just to wrap this up real quick, I'm going to finish with this, right? Back to the idea of the Spurs, with, them losing Wemby and maybe them not being able to get into the play-in and everything like that. I think they're still able to be competitive to be in the play-in, because I'm hearing people talk about maybe they should consider tanking. Now that Wemby's out, maybe tank to get Cooper FLAGG. Fuck all that shit. Kill all that noise right now. Because I think they could still bowl, like I said, for at least a playing spot, which is also going to be able to get some of these younger dudes conditioned and experience to seeing what playoff intensity basketball is about. Because you still got young ballers on there, for the near future that's going to be a part of this, and keep building around that. So get them conditioned to what a little taste of what playoff ball is like. They're still balling, they're still producing, even though Wemby's out and everything like that. Fuck tanking for Cooper FLAGG. Who knows what the fuck he's going to be, or if he's going to come out, because he already said that he's thinking about going back, which I think is a smart move. Because I think that, Cooper FLAGG looks nice. He looks crazy, but I think coming in next year, there's going to be motherfuckers like, I can't wait to bust this motherfucker ass, because everybody's been hyping him up, and he might get eaten alive. So I don't think that's the route for them. Keep balling out. Try and get them in the plane and whatever. Whoever you get in the draft is who you get in the draft. Don't stake it all on trying to get Cooper FLAGG. If you do and he's still nice, okay, cool. But yeah, get them young boys conditioned to some playoff basketball and ball out with them and keep building around that eventual, possible or potential dynasty that could be built around Wemby. All right, but that's going to do it all for me here to wrap up with this quick clip with Welcome to the Franchise. Y'all out there, be easy.